Let's turn to some other news. This week, Pope Francis made headlines talking about poverty, inequality, and what the world should be doing to help those who are suffering. The remarks were part of the first major work he has authored since stepping into the role as pontiff. Joining us now to talk about it further is Father Frank Pavone, National Director of Priests for Life. Father, thank you for your time today.
Hi, Shannon. Thanks for having me.
All right, I want to start by asking you, first of all, to explain for us, what is an apostolic exhortation? What kind of words did we get from the Pope?
Well, we were expecting this document. Last year, there was a worldwide meeting of bishops to talk about the subject of evangelization, in other words, proclaiming the gospel. And after a worldwide meeting like that, the Pope always issues a document that summarizes some of the main points and points the way to the future for the church. And that's an apostolic exhortation, sharing some of his important concerns for the church's mission at this point in time.
All right, so there was a lot of talk, as we know that this Pope has been very sensitive to the plight of those who are impoverished. He has been very modest himself in the way that he lives, as he did prior to assuming his role, and to also after becoming Pope. What do you take from his message about poverty and how we, all of us across the world, should be dealing with it?
Well, the document he just issued puts it in context. He says, look, the church is proclaiming that God became one of us. And he was born in poverty. Jesus Christ himself was poor. And that means God loves the human person, and he stands above all with those whom society casts out. He stands with everybody. He came to save everybody. But the church has to pay special attention to the poor. And what the Pope is saying in this document is, look, we've got a problem when we pay more attention, for example, to Black Friday sales in the stores than to the homeless, hungry person dying in the streets of our own cities. This is what the Pope is saying. Let's pay more attention to those whom society is forgetting.
And there's been some emphasis on comments that were translated to say that some people continue to defend trickle-down theories which assume that economic growth encouraged by a free market will inevitably and succeed in bringing about greater justice and inclusiveness, and goes on to cast some doubt on that. And I've had several people reach out to me to say that might not be the exact or best translation of what he was saying. Certainly that people need to be more generous and more thoughtful, but that his statements weren't meant to be an outright, detraction against capitalism or ideas about people being entrepreneurs.
No, that's right. In fact, the Pope in this document makes it very clear that he's not condemning capitalism as such. He's condemning selfishness. He's saying that economic systems, political systems, all of this exists for the human person. He puts it very succinctly by saying money must serve, not rule. If we're making money, that's fine. If we're making a lot of money, that's also fine. But if we're ignoring the poor, if we're not realizing that all the goods we have are also meant for us to share with those who have less, then that's the moral problem. That's the ethical problem. And the Pope really is also coming against bad religion just as strongly as he is against any bad economic policy, because he's saying a religion that closes us in on ourselves, that says, oh, I have what I need, so I'm fine, I'll just seek God in my private life, and not recognizing duties to help the needy is a false religion. And he actually comes down harder on religion than on economics.
Well, selflessness is something we should all aspire more to. Father Pavone, thank you so much for your time today.